too. Pioneers of flight successfully crossed the English Channel. British inventors built the very first working steam locomotive. The mysteries of electricity, seen by some as the spark of life itself, were being revealed. Many in Britain were made deeply uneasy by the relentless probing of science. But who would give voice to their fears? A Gothic writer, of course. A young woman we remember by her married name, Mary Shelley. Mary lived in the London parish of St Pancras, at the heart of the dynamic metropolis. Yet it was in the graveyard that she found solace and the inspiration for one of the most terrifying of all Gothic creations, Frankenstein. Mary Shelley grew up surrounded by visionary idealists who dreamed of creating a better world, but she was not one of them. Her mother was Mary Wollstonecraft, pioneering feminist who died giving birth to the young Mary and was buried here. Her father was William Godwin, a free thinker, an anarchist who gave Mary an extraordinary education, introducing her to scientists, philosophers, writers, thinkers. It was to this churchyard that Mary came when she was young to be quiet with her thoughts and to spend time with the mother that she'd never actually met. And it was here too that she and the poet Percy Bysshe Shelley declared their undying love for one another and decided to elope. She was 17, he was 22 and inconveniently married, but that didn't stop them. Shelley also was an idealist, but it was Mary's destiny to sound a great warning about what the future might hold, to write a novel about progress and the dangers that come with it, that still sends a shiver up the spine today. One famously dark and stormy night in June 1816, the teenage Mary and her lover Shelley were guests of Lord Byron at his villa on the shore of Lake Geneva. They entertained each other by telling horror stories. Mary's tale told of a scientist hell-bent on his quest to build a creature, a man, from decaying body parts, and then to animate him.
I collected the instruments of life around me, that I might infuse a spark of being into the lifeless thing that lay at my feet. I saw the dull yellow eye of the creature open. It breathed hard, and a convulsive motion agitated its limbs.
Mary's story drew on several well-known experiments of the time, actual attempts to revive corpses, animal and human, using powerful electrical currents. Frankenstein might be a Gothic novel, but its subject is a very modern dilemma. I think it's telling that people often refer to the monster as Frankenstein, but that isn't the case. Frankenstein is the monster's creator, the scientist, although in Mary Shelley's view, perhaps he's the true monster, the real villain of the piece. Why? Because he's a scientific obsessive, a monomaniac. All he cares about is the realization of his dream, but he doesn't think about the consequences. The moment he succeeds in bestowing the gift of life, Frankenstein rejects his creation. The unloved, deformed monster embarks on a killing spree of revenge. But he's not so much terrifying as tragic. He learns to speak and tells his maker, "I should have been your Adam, but I am instead the fallen angel. Misery made me a fiend." I think the novel expresses a deep-seated 19th century terror of science that might run out of control. And I think that's why it's resonated throughout the 20th century and into the 21st century. Whether it's the human genome or the splitting of the atom, a great scientific discovery is only as great as the use that's made of it. And that use can contain as many nightmares as dreams. I think Mary Shelley's point was that the bare bones of scientific inquiry are not enough. They have to be animated by the spirit of moral responsibility.